Handling confrontation or handling bullies is a life skill that we all must have or either work on and gaining. Because in life, bro, you're going to get tested a lot. It could be women, it could be friends, it could be family, it could be workplaces, bro. People will always try to test you. If you're like smaller, skinnier, or if you look like a quiet person that doesn't speak up for themselves or anyone around them, people are going to try you over and over again, you know. But however, if you like, you know, if you put them in their place once, they will not try you. But if you say nothing about it, they're going to try you again and again and again. And they're going to think you're an easy target, you know. That's just the way people are. And usually when people are handed with confrontation or they're dealing with bullies, there's three ways that people go about it. The first way is the worst way, and the first one is to do nothing about it. Let's say people are making fun of you, people are making these stupid jokes that you know you don't like. It pisses you off, it annoys you. And the worst thing you could do is just laugh about it and just say like you're trying to laugh it off while it pisses you off, you know? While deep down inside you're getting angry. You know that emoji where someone's smiling but they're actually crying instead? It has you like that. If it has you like that, bro, that is the worst thing to do, not saying anything about it. The thing is, though, people will still be friendly with you. People will still, you know, tolerate you, bring you around. You can network, but bro, people will think that they could pick on you. People will try you. People will make all these stupid jokes over and over and over again. And yeah, it's going to be harder for you to speak up for yourself. And if it's a bully and you say nothing about it, bro, that bully will pick on you over and over again. You know, that's just the way how bullies are, bro. Until you punch them in the face, until you know, speak up, until you tell them stop, you know, they're not going to do anything about it. But if it's bullies, we got to push them in their face sometimes, especially if it's school. You know, I'm not trying to condone violence, but I am condoning self-defense and self-respect. If I were to go back in time, there would be a couple people that are punched in the face, you know, that are bullies. That's it, you know? And the second way to deal with confrontation, you know, it's a bit better than the first. Actually, it's a lot better than the first step. It's by acting crazy and getting on their level. Like if someone says a stupid joke about you and then you yell at them, be like, hey, don't make that joke again, or you act crazy, you know, a little bit unprofessional, unconductive, you know, they probably won't make that joke about you again, you know? So it's a good defense. However, many people will look at you crazy as well. And it can ruin, like, you know, some networking opportunities, some promotional opportunities. People might not want to joke with you at all, but they might not even want to be friendly with you at all. They might look at you like, oh, you better not say the wrong thing to him, you know? Because in the workplace, there's a lot of people. There's people that are all over the place. There's people that, like, you know, want to make some stupid jokes, try to bully people. But most people want to be friends with other people and, you know, catch up with people, ask them how they're doing and things like that. And genuinely trying to make good friends. Maybe people will be a bit more careful, but, like, you know, you don't want people to be in a place where they don't even feel like joking around with you, you know? You don't want to give that vibe. But once again, it's still 100 times better than the first step, which is not by saying anything. If this was school and you're acting crazy, you know, it's a good thing. I would say that, you know, I'd rather have you do this than any of the other steps because, you know, at school you can get away with acting like this. People won't test you anymore and stuff like that. And at school times, people are more likely to be bullies and say dumb stuff and get away with it and try to put you in your place over and over again. But meanwhile, you have to put them in their place, you know? The third way to handle confrontation as an adult and, you know, in the workplace with family and friends, this is the best way to handle confrontation is by directly telling them that you're not messing with them, bro. You don't like the idea of you being the person that everyone can joke about. You know, you bring it to their attention. You say, hey, I don't like that, bro. You went too far. You crossed the line. You're doing too much. You better stop right now. That's not it, bro. You're doing way too much. You're talking way too much, bro. Cut it out right now, or else there's going to be problems. And that's pretty much the best way to go about it as an adult, you know? Like, let's say a woman is testing you too much. You're like, hey, what's the point of all this? What are you trying to get to? Or even your friends trying to make jokes over and over. Be like, yo, guys, I really don't mess with it right now. Like, you guys need to stop. You guys are doing way too much. Like, there's literally zero goals, you know? They'll usually when you say this, most of the time, like 80-90% of the time, people will either back off or try to gaslight you a bit and be like, hey, that wasn't my intention. I wasn't trying to do that, you know? It was a misunderstanding. Sorry about that. That's the good thing about this, you know? Because people will actually respect it and be like, okay, whatever, you know? I'm doing a little too much. I won't do it with this guy again. This guy's still a good friend or a good partner or a good employee. I won't cross the line with this guy. This guy has boundaries. And that's ultimately the best way to go about it because you're not acting crazy. You're still getting, like, you know, if it's at work, there's still People still take you seriously. People will not look at you as crazy if it's school time. People, people will still look friendly. People want to be friends with you. If it's networking opportunities, it's amazing. You're not throwing anyone under the bus. You're telling people to respect you and that you have boundaries. And that's absolutely the best way to go around the problems. The only thing is when you're going that route, and there's some people that really don't like it when you have boundaries, especially they could be friends and family, to be honest, especially friends that you knew for a long time. And if you say, hey, I don't like that, you're stuff like that going on, sometimes they'll still try to pass your boundaries. And yeah, I spoke about this already in a previous video, but I cut my friends off last year. And this was because one of them crossed boundaries too much. And when I confronted them, they were being disrespectful. They didn't take me seriously. They apologized the day after, but bro, they were doing way too much. Because they literally, when I was trying to leave one day, I was a bit, I was late I was trying to go home, go see my wife. It was like 11 o'clock. I kind of went past my curfew. I told my wife, hey, I'm going to be there. And this guy that was actually an old friend, he literally I parked behind his car and he intentionally did not move his car until like 30 minutes later. And I told him, hey, you're doing too much. What are you doing? Like, I should be going right now. You're not being respectful right now. And then it kind of escalated where it was pretty much being narcissistic and saying, hey, you are at fault right now, not me. Meanwhile, I have a wife at home. I got to make sure that, I'm at home at a reasonable amount of time. And this was before she was pregnant, but still I have to respect it. And, when he crossed the boundaries, he didn't apologize. He wasn't being respectful. He didn't take me serious. That's when I cut that friendship off. And then, maybe it wasn't a friendship. It was a friendship. Maybe that's why I cut it off, So there's always going to be people like that. And those are the people you either cut off or fight. And those are the people that they don't deserve respect. If they don't respect your boundaries, they don't deserve respect. You don't have to be their friend. You don't have to be their partner. You don't have to be their employer. You don't have to work with them. Those are if you bring the attention that something's bothering you, there's something that they're doing wrong, and they're actually doing wrong. You're not being egotistical. You're not doing too much. You're not trying to put them in their place just to put them in their place. You're making sense. You're being respectful. They still do that. Just cut them off like I did, Those people don't deserve your friendship or whatever it is that you're provided. They don't deserve your company in your life. That's for sure. And I mentioned this before. What I learned is that people try to bully someone that's smaller, weaker. They tend to not speak up for themselves. They tend not to fight back. Those are the people that are the easier targets. If you want to make yourself a target, bro, be small. Don't go to the gym. Don't lift weights. Don't speak up for yourself. Ignore everything. And you're going to make yourself a target in life. And one thing that will give you more self-confidence in speaking up for yourself and just by, being more assertive is by just accomplishing more and also going to the gym and learning how to fight. There's a correlation with, knowing how to fight and being bigger, and it is with speaking up for yourself. You can always speak up to whatever. There's still going to be parents you have to speak up to. It could be old age. They'll still pick on you, friends, family, that aren't being violent, of course. But the bigger you are, the more likely you are to speak up for yourself. And the more you learn how to fight, the more likely are you to speak up for yourself. And there's going to be confrontations in public. There's going to be bigger men trying to intimidate you no matter what. Even if you're 5'5", 5'8", and especially if you weigh less than 200 pounds, people are always going to do it, However, what I learned from after taking martial arts, doing jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, all that stuff, I did it for 2 years. And bro, I am more likely to speak up for myself. I'm more likely to, not let BS go past me. It is what it is. That's just how life is. I'm telling you, if you work out, if you bulk up for a couple years, and if you go to the gym, you box, you wrestle, you do jiu-jitsu, you do Muay Thai for a few years, bro, 2 years later, bro, you're more likely to speak up for yourself, and people are less likely to try you. That's what it is. Because let's be real, 95% of the time, people try you. Let's say it's not workplace related. It's it could get violent, and it's with friends or with, in school. It's because they think you won't fight back. It's because you think you won't rock them in the jaw. But sometimes you're going to have to do that in life. Sometimes you're going to have to prove a point. I don't condone fighting at all. I think fighting is pretty low IQ. Fighting at a gym, at jiu-jitsu, boxing ring, stuff like that, I think that's amazing. Keep doing that type of fighting. Keep it in the ring, If you're going to fight outside, bro, just make sure it's self-defense, because you can get arrested, you can get people hurt alongside you. If things can get really hectic, and if you become a good fighter, bro, you could put people in the hospital. That shouldn't be your intention, you know. It should be like as a last resort to help yourself, your family, and friends. But yeah, man, just learn how to fight, and it's gonna make things a lot easier. And if you can't learn to fight by this time, just learn to bulk up, gain some more pounds, more muscle, and people will try you less. I'm not gonna lie, because if you gain 100 pounds, you might be a bit less healthier. But if you gain 100 pounds, and a lot of them are muscle, people won't try you. However, if you work on your MMA skills in 2 or 3 years, you become a sick fighter. You become almost an amateur level fighter. People will still try you because people are just stupid. They think smaller means weaker, which it absolutely doesn't, you know? But yeah, that's just my video on how to handle confrontation. I also don't want you guys to, you know, like handle a lot of stuff in work, say the wrong places. Just make sure you're handling it at the right times. You know, obviously if it's your boss going a little too far, just say, hey man, come on, you know, just give me a break, give me some slack. It is what it is. However, if it's friends or family, relatives, you know, like people that aren't paying your bills, or people that are just going a bit too far, think they can bully you and push you around, and they're not paying for your lifestyle. It's like, brother, just you're making me sick right now. Like you're making me you're making me angry, you're making me mad. I don't like what's happening right now. Stop this right now, or else, you know, things can happen. You know, just don't give them a direct threat, but make it like a minor threat that like, hey, things can happen. Relax, you know? But yeah, that's just my video about how to handle confrontation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I get a lot more viewers now, and I'm grateful for that. However, the subscribers are not translating. Please help a brother out. But yeah, man, peace out, guys.